What's going on, everybody? Dan here, Beer to the North. Welcome to the Longhouse again, and welcome my guest, Mr. Dan C. Bearded. No, none of you guys know who he is, do you?
You got back-to-back weeks of is your government name Daniel?
It is.
So you got back-to-back weeks of Daniel squared.
Daniel Square. Oh, let's see. Holy crap, there are a lot of people.
There we go.
Oh, say hi to some of the people. E, how you doing, sir? Mark, as always, of course. Vato, how you doing, sir? Mr. Andrew, nice to see you, sir. SJM, I wonder if that's Steven from SJM Beard Oils. Possibly. Triple B, how you doing, sir?
So Scott.
Garrett Beard Mode. Once I started watching you live with Nick from Dr. Nick's, I started seeing this guy constantly.
Yeah, Garrett's the man. I got to hang out with him on Saturday, actually.
Oh.
Shout out to his wife, Melissa, too. She's awesome.
Yeah. Mr. Corey, good to see you, sir. Rough day for him and I. Rough day.
Corey,
him and I
feeling better.
Him and I, we've been playing a computer game called League of Legends together.
Okay, yeah.
And we got kind of stomped today.
Oh. I just learned, so it's like an internet folklore, but also kind of like gaming legend thing. I've always heard the name Leroy Jenkins, but I didn't know the story behind that. Do you know that one?
Yes, I do.
Oh, man, I just listened to the audio the first time ever. Amazing. Now, someone told me it was staged, and that kind of ruins it for me, but I'm gonna let my mind believe that it wasn't staged.
That's the way I look at it too. I watched the video from it, and I was just like, is it staged though? Because
yeah, right. Yeah, and Garrett says World of Warcraft. Yeah, I know.
Yep.
But just amazing delivery, and I always thought it was from like Chappelle's show or something, and it's just, and I was confusing it with like Tyrone Biggums and stuff. But so funny.
Oh, Ellie's in here. How you doing? Good to see you. Mr. Tyson from Copper Johns. Congrats on the 100K, sir.
Crazy.
Yeah. He jumped quick.
Mm-hmm. I'm not even going to call out his misuse of pronunciation or of his apostrophe there, but that's all right. No longer a teacher.
Chris from True North, sir. Good to see you. Gary Pinner.
What's up, Gary?
Good to see you, sir. Of course, Becky. Even though you just saw her. Mike, how you doing?
So, Mike.
This must be...
Yeah, that's Garrett's
wife. Garrett's wife. Stephen Fleming, how you doing?
What's up, Stephen?
He went from the unofficial Ken to the official Ken since Ken changed his name for the 100th time.
I love it.
Got Chris. How you doing, sir? Matt Foley. Not sure who this is. This is a new one.
That's Shade. That's my buddy, man. Great guy. One of the greatest literal tattoo artists in the world.
Oh.
No joke.
Do you have any tattoos?
I have several, and then he's going to be doing a sleeve on me.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Yeah, he's unbelievable.
Yeah, I haven't had a needle touch my skin in over a decade, and it's saddening.
You need some ink therapy.
Yes. How you doing, Matt? Good to see you, sir. I think I'm getting... If I miss you, I'm going to catch up all the way down. If I missed you, I'm sorry. But
how it feels.
How are we doing today, sir? How have you been?
Good. Today was a super busy but productive day, non-stop from start to finish, but just the way I like it. So let's keep it rolling.
Nice. It's been a pretty pretty minimal day for me after the snowstorm we had where we were
Yeah.
locked up in the house.
Yep, we got hit hard too. Ours is all ice. Get like south of us, like Garrett and Melissa, most of the state lost power. We got lucky and did not lose. I had my generator ready, but we didn't lose power. We just got everything coated in about 2 inches of ice.
Oh, we got about a foot of snow.
Okay, yeah, not much snow here. Sleet and then ice.
We didn't get really any ice. I mean, it didn't even really rain. It was just all snow and wind. And um, Becky's been, I guess, testing her metal with the skid loader.
Oh yeah.
So she enjoys when it snows. She gets kind of excited to go out and clear the driveway with it, and she does a really good job with it. I'm surprised because at first she was like, I don't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And then, like, well, living out on a farm, at some point you might have to get used to it, and she's gotten pretty damn good at it, actually.
That's cool. Yeah, I had to go salt and stuff today. It was freezing as it was coming down, so there was like nothing you could do about it.
Oh, shit. Not good times. I do not enjoy that. For the longest time, our driveway, after we had cleared snow and it started to get warm and kind of melt but get cold at night, we had probably like 3 inches of ice.
Yeah.
And we couldn't move worth shit anywhere with our vehicles.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm lucky. This is I have a truck, and this is my first time having a truck. I've had it probably 3 years now, but I will never go back to a non-truck again. Like it feels good.
When you're in the Midwest, it's kind of like you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't, the wintertime, you're going to be miserable. I had a Mustang for 5 years, and it was the only vehicle I had.
Oh, dang.
And
rear wheel.
Yep, all rear wheel. It was a nightmare in the winters, and I was living in a town about an hour and a half ish away from my parents, and I would go back and visit. And one night I was home visiting, and we got like dumped on like a foot and a half of snow, and I had to go back for school the next day. And I got behind a semi, and I rode his ass going about 15 miles an hour for the whole way.
Yep.
Otherwise, I was not going to make it.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. So I'm a big dude, and my like first like real car that I had for myself, my parents gave me a minivan that I like had to pay insurance, and just horrible vehicle at first, but I got a Chevy Cruze. Dude, trying to fit in the Chevy Cruze, trying to drive Michigan winter in the Chevy Cruze, those things are teeny tiny. Yeah, I don't miss that.
So
and it was a Chevy Cruze, and I was so broke. It had no cruise control, which is the most ironic thing ever. It had no power locks. It had no power windows. It was like the skeleton of a cheap car.
And when you get the hand-me-down, when you turn 16, 17 years old, it's, well, if you want wheels, this is what you get.
Yep, absolutely.
Are they making fun of me on how long it would take?
Yeah, hey, everybody have fun, chop it up. I'm a normal dude too. It's just I just have my style on my platform, you guys know.
Dan and I are the same person. He just has, you guys got to remember, he was a teacher, so his students watch his channel, his live streams, and it doesn't look very good if he's up here dropping the F-bomb every 2 minutes.
Correct. Yes. We went to dinner with our new neighbors today, and Sam probably dropped the F-bomb 17 times during dinner. We're super normal. Like, you guys hang out with us, you'd love us all. But yeah, it's just on my platform, it's just one that I established as family friendly. I will continue that. I like that. I don't have to swear, but I am a normal person. I'm not some like prudent, like sheltered human over here.
How's it going, Brewer? Good to see you, sir.
What's up, Brewer?
There's Brian B. Nice to see you, sir. There were a few people that I saw that I haven't grabbed, but welcome in as you come in. I got a lot of crap since I posted that you were going to be on here on how is that dynamic going to work? Because, like you trying to explain, I'm a normal person,
Right. Did you tell them
and
that we talk like we conversate normally?
like this guy right here, he was, how the hell did you get him on your show? I was, well, and I was telling them, I was explaining, well, he was helping me with some things on my YouTube, and I just
Mhm.
kind of nonchalantly said, hey, what do you want to? And you, hell yeah.
For sure, man.
Ray Smokey. King Smoke. Why does that sound familiar? You've been here before. How you doing, sir?
What's up, Ray? Good dude.
Casey. Been a long time since I've seen you, sir. Good to see you.
Dude, the wildest thing with your like chat right now, like I've hung out with more than half the people in here, like in person, and most of them several times. Pretty crazy.
See, that's the difference in that is I have never met a single person in the community
Okay.
in person. And I know mostly it's because of where I live.
Right.
And second is because I fucking hate people. So like the live streams and the social media aspect of it is perfect for me because I have a bad social anxiety disorder.
Okay.
So in person, I get like hardcore anxiety, especially around new people and big groups of people. So the social media aspect of it is perfect because if I even like even right now, if I start to get anxious for whatever reason, I can just went, well, I'm done and
Yeah,
broadcast.
for sure. For sure. Yeah, I'm the opposite. Give me the bigger crowd, the better. If I'm going to go speak somewhere, I want as many people in front of me as possible. Like I get more energy the more people I'm around, and I've always been though. It's nothing that like I achieved or gained. I just have always loved being around people. And Sam's the opposite. Sam peopling, she doesn't like peopling that much. And so she would rather just chill at home. So I get the dynamic for sure.
Yeah, that's me and Becky. She's a social butterfly, loves being around people, and it always ends up being a nightmare for us when it's, well, should we could go do something this weekend? And
Yeah.
well, we haven't done anything for 6 months, Dan. Come on.
I hear you.
Nancy has helped me out much behind the scenes.
Yep, and somebody said I didn't realize that like you and I talked, and man, I am literally willing to help anybody. People for whatever reason assume that I don't know they can assume whatever they want, but they don't realize like almost everybody I talk to behind the scenes, and if anybody ever has a question, I'm always there to help. The only rule I tell everybody is if you ask a question, just be ready for an answer. I'm going to tell you the answer. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm just going to tell you what I actually think.
And that that's the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
It's I mean it's especially on social media. What is the point to lie or put on a front? I mean, I understand it's easier because people can't smack you in the face for it,
Right.
but
True.
it's just to make yourself feel cooler or better or whatever, to lie to other people on the internet saying this or that or whatnot. Why can't you just tell the truth?
Right.
But a lot of people, it's the acceptance and wanting people to like them.
Yeah.
Regardless. I mean,
For sure.
you know, obviously, like with you, there's a lot of the stigma around you of you, like with your reviews. You tell people what they want to hear is what is supposedly how it goes. Is you say what you say because you're either paid for it or all that. You know
Right.
how that I'm
Oh
sure
yeah.
you've said that many times.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. It's and man, I never get defensive. For me, the greatest thing in the world with everything I do here was that I was trained for 12 years dealing with 12-year-olds. I
Right.
had 155 12-year-olds in front of me every day for 12 years in a row. So I'm used to those kind of immature mindsets and assumptions. And you learn as a teacher, like getting defensive and trying to defend yourself and proving people wrong and stuff. You realize that that just doesn't work, right? Going down to their level, going down to even entertain that conversation just doesn't happen. So for me, it's like, hey, you want to talk about those things? Cool. I'm not the person to go out there and do things to convince people. I'm going to show you, I got over 4.5 years of a resume. Judge for yourself. Whatever you want to judge, that's your reality. That's totally fine. And I also don't broadcast things to get any kind of positive publicity, right? You see Copper Johns and Weatherbeard both said they have been brutally honest with them. They didn't want to hear it, but it's helpful, right? It helped you. I don't go out and then post, be like, hey, I just had a great conversation. Hey, I went on for an hour and helped out Dan. Hey, I did this. Like, you don't do those things for those reasons, and when people don't see you putting that stuff out there, they start to have assumptions. And then, like you mentioned with the reviews, a lot of people associate something negative with yelling and swearing and a wrinkled up face where you're like, no, if you actually listen to the reviews, I'm highly critical. I always offer that critical feedback, and sometimes it's just downright not good. And then I'll say that as well. But people choose to not listen to that. They only want to listen to certain things. And I've even talked about this on vice versa. I have a lot of critical reviews, and on every one I do, right, when I say I don't recommend this product, I don't like this product, hey, they paid me, hey, they sent me this, and I still don't like it, I always get the response, great, honest review. But when I do a positive one, nobody says great, honest review. Well, guess what? They're both honest reviews, but why do we have to associate negativity with being honest? What if it is something that you genuinely love? And kind of overall arching thing in the beard game, if you're using natural ingredients and you're doing it the right way, guess what? All these things are pretty dang good. It's just preference after that point. So it's not like we're reviewing stuff that's falling apart, making our hair fall out and stuff, and everybody wants like riots and mobs and all this stuff. And it's like, it's not actually like that. And so people can spin it any way they want.
And that's the thing, is people are going to spin it any way they want.
Always.
To fit whatever agenda they want to have. Because once I finally get my DaVinci Resolve editing tool down and pat and figure out how I'm doing it.
Heck yeah. My
first video that I have planned to come out is the stigma behind getting paid to review.
Yeah.
And I have it all down. I have the whole thing spread out in the way I want it to be. And I have a feeling it's going to be a good video.
Good.
Because it's probably not going to be how people are going to take it or think.
Right. And those are often the best ones. And man, if you ever feel bad about like what people say or how people interpret things, just go read reviews, like written reviews of anything, right? Go look up an Amazon product and sort it by most recent and read the reviews. You'll realize human error is a real thing. You'll realize perspective is completely, yes. If you think about here's a good quote. I forgot who, I think it was Bill Maher. He said, think about the average American and think half of the country is dumber than them. Dang, like, wow, that hits, that hits. And then the paid review thing too. Dude, I could go on and on and on. And actually, and people don't even realize I watch everything. I watched your every word of your show with Daniel last week. And that someone who I actually really like and respect was talking about Daniel. And they said, hey, don't send stuff to reviewers, make them pay for it and stuff. And I have a degree in economics, right? There's an entire thing about an economy and running a business and marketing and why do advertisements exist? Why do all these things exist? I mean, we could go down that funnel too. And kind of just one topic I would say on your perspective of paid reviews and these things. I believe, especially when it's done well, the bigger you are, it is far more difficult and far more risky to be biased as opposed to when you're starting. I believe if I were to look at the spectrum of my channel, and I would push it and say anybody's channel, you are the most biased when you first start. Because when you first start, you start to get that feeling of companies reaching out to you. And that's a crazy butterfly feeling. You feel special. You feel on top of the world. That company to you those first few companies will always have a special spot in your heart because they saw your value. They made you feel special. The last thing in the world you want to do is say something negative about those companies. Now, are you getting paid for that? No, you're not. but you feel special. You feel honored. Wow, the owners are talking to me. Then the next step, wow, they sent me products. There's not a bad word in the world, you'll say. But when you start building and you get bigger, there is no, if I have a critical review, a negative review, most people see that as a positive for me, right? That's a street cred builder, right? There's nothing holding me back. I don't fear any company. If I don't like something, I will say that. I don't have to worry about them bad mouthing me. I don't have to worry about them not talking to me, about not sending me stuff, not reaching back out. I have absolutely no reason to do that, right? And then they'll say, well, what about your affiliate stuff? Well, but once you get to a certain level, every affiliate is for the most part is open and available, right? Scuba says it all the time, and it's true. But a lot of people forget that new bias. When you're new and you feel special, but no one talks about that. But it's like, whoa, they make money. Yeah, so do doctors, so do teachers, so do everybody with any profession. We had a guy plow our road today. I wasn't like, I wonder if he's doing a good job because he's getting paid for it. Like, come on.
No, I understand what you mean by that big time because, when I first started out, you had that feeling of you don't want to say anything bad because if they want to be involved with you, if you say something bad, they're going to write you off.
Yep.
And then you end up in that boat. But at the same time, I did that like the first like 2 videos that I did.
Yep.
And then after that, I was kind of like, fuck that. Because if you do it in a professional way of doing a negative review, even for an affiliate or whatever it is, if you do it in a professional way, they can at least hopefully see it as constructive criticism and thank you. Because I know when I talked to Adam from Hanyaker about it at first, he's like, if you tell me that you like everything I send you, you're full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no way you like everything.
Yep.
So you're just telling me what I want to hear. And if you do that, I can't be better.
Yep.
And that's how you should look at it and I did that with one of his scents. It was strawberry scented. Was it called Hidden? Strawberry, like strawberry. And I was like, this ain't for me. And the review was that way. It was, this isn't for me. If you like fruit scents, this would probably be a good one for you. But then you got people on the other side of it where this is horse shit. It's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recommend you buy it. Blah, blah, blah.
Right. No, it's just totally different. And there's levels to stuff too, right? When you see somebody, it's a whole lot harder to deliver. It takes a lot more integrity and a whole lot harder to deliver that news when a company has reached out to you and has sent stuff to you. And you still have to do it. And people will like criticize them. Like, would you like me to make a playlist of companies that have sent me stuff that have paid for things and I flat out don't recommend them? Do you know how difficult that is? Do you know how hard that is to post that and then you just wait? And company owners take kind of like 3 main routes afterwards of a critical review. 1, they just ghost. They never talk to you again. That's fine.
No.
2, they use it, they improve, they listen to you, they ask you questions. That's the best of the best. Or 3, they get mad. I've actually, and many people in here know, I've been sued over these things. I actually went to court. Yeah, I've been threatened to be sued a bunch of times by large companies as well. So like doing that's not easy. If you go buy something, and Daniel kind of referred to it last week, especially if you buy something with already negative bias and you know that you're going to bash it beforehand, that's simple. That's easy to do. I could go buy the new Beard Guys stuff right now and go bash a review. That's cake. That's a cakewalk. I'm going to get a bunch of claps in the comments and they're going to cheer me on. The real difficult ones are the ones where you do get to talk to the owners. You do get to do these things, and you still have to be real. You still have to be honest and say that you don't recommend it. And a lot of times people either don't make it to the end of the video, they've judged before then, or they're listening to it from the tone, right? Again, I'm not swearing, I'm not yelling, I'm not throwing it, I'm not making 2 thumbs down and faces and all this stuff, and so they don't hear the actual words. I believe it's important to listen. Like you got to actually listen to what's said.
Yeah. All right. Some of my favorite review videos that you've done are like the L'Oreal one you did.
Oh,
and it's the big box ones. Yeah. And I like to point it out to my wife sometimes too, like all these beauty companies and stuff that have been around for decades doing women's stuff, and now they're trying to come into the male grooming side, And a lot of us that have been in it with these small batch companies and the ingredients that they have that we know are good,
Yeah.
and these big companies come in with the shit that they've had in their in their products for years, the fillers, the silicones, the stuff that's horrible for you,
Yep.
and you look at it and you're like, this is terrible,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just making a money grab is what they're doing,
Yeah.
because they know that the male grooming industry or whatever is further and further rising.
Yep. Yep.
And I tell her, it's like, this shit's been in your products since you were a kid, since your
Oh,
mom.
no doubt. And they have that brand association. A large percentage of guys that start with beard products, it's because their girl sees a product at the store, Ulta,
Yep.
something like that. That's where I started. And it's a brand they recognize. And they're like, oh, wow, this is for you. Try this. And it's just atrocious and horrible. And there's stuff that they don't tell you too, like silicones. When women use silicones on their hair, it makes it look good, it makes it feel good, but it's not actually good. But here's the crazy part: to actually get away from that, there's like a 2-3 week detox process that has to happen. If you have a woman that has, or anybody that has long hair that's been using silicone products, when you stop, your hair is going to get worse before it gets better. And a lot of people don't make it through that. It's kind of like natural deodorant. You got to go through that detox process to get there. And that's also scary too. Like, people see those. A lot of times they don't realize those big companies reach out to me. Those big companies send me things. Like, those companies are communicating with me. You post that review after already literally being sued and going to court. I won, by the way. But going to court, like, that's a scary thing to post and say, hey, I don't recommend this. I don't believe this is here. I do little things to cover myself, right? I say,
Right.
in my opinion, I never say that these are going to kill your beard or anything like that. I'll say, this is what happened to my beard. This is what I believe would happen to yours. And I share those things. But when you post those, man, that's a scary thing to say, hey, this company has millions, or in L'Oreal, billions of dollars behind them. And normally what the tactic is, and this is the reason I won, is luckily I have a sister who's a lawyer, but normally the tactic is they have more money than you. They're going to send you deep water when it comes to court. And they say, hey, we're going to wait you out. Well, they don't tell you, and a lot of people get scared, is if you win, they have to pay your trial fees. They have to pay your lawyer fees. So my sister got paid to defend me,
To
even when
defend
she
you.
would have, even when it would have been free and she would have done it anyway. They had to pay her because I won the case.
Right. You got to know your little ins and outs, and obviously
Yeah.
having her in your corner helped tremendously.
Yep.
But at the same, if it's your first time, you're panicking and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. This big ass company's suing me.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, I've had company owners cuss me out. Big companies, like one, there's a mountain range that may be a little bit rocky, I guess you could say, and they happen to make beard products. And I still have the emails. Their owner threatened to sue me. He cussed me out. He told me, like, if he meets me in like, crazy. And this is a very large company and stuff. So that's the stuff people don't see, man. It's the stuff that I don't broadcast to defend myself. And they want to say these things. And it's like, when you realize people have no idea what they're talking about, it just makes it so much easier, right? If you came out and made a video and you were like, hey, Dancy Bearded is this, and this, I'd be like, oh man, like that actually hurts, because I feel like otherwise. I feel like you see otherwise, or the relationship. So when it's just people just talking and have no concept of actually what happens, it doesn't bother me. Like, there's nobody that sees what my day is like. There's nobody that sees the layers and layers and layers that goes into all of this. They can see the numbers, they can see the results and make their assumptions from that, but they don't see the layers that go into it. And the cool thing is, I'm okay with that. I'm not here to show them, not here to convince them. I never try to convince. I just try to convey my information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on, Jay?
Yeah, a lot of people asked what the lawsuit was. So essentially, I did the video. It was a product that was in stores for $7. I said, I don't recommend this. Here are the first 3 ingredients, blah, 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 blah. And the video dropped. I get an email from the company a couple days later. And this is probably 3 years ago now. It's probably 1.5 years, 2 years in. And so it was newer, but I still was, it took about 6 months for me to spark. I still posted 3 videos a day, still had 2 live streams a week, and I didn't really have much ground or traction for about 6 months, and then it kind of took off after that. And so I had a pretty good following. The video got up to, at this point, it was within a couple weeks, got up to 10,000 views. And the company said, we're going to sue you for 70 grand because we assume that everybody that watched your video planned on buying the product and then you turned them away. It was $7 each. That's 70 grand. And we are going to sue you for slander. And then they said, we may be pushing for defamation of character. We may be doing, they just threw all these buzzwords out there. And so I was like, okay. But at this point, I had already been threatened to be sued before. So I was like, all right, bring it. And then for the first time, they actually sent litigation. Well, again, my sister is a Ivy League lawyer and is just brilliant. And so I sent it to her and I'm like, hey, will you watch this video and then check this out? Am I good? And because they just wanted me to take the video down. And I'm like, right. Man, this is like, at the time was like my hottest video, that and my morning routine. I'm like, 10,000 views. That's crazy. Still to this day, give me 10,000 views any day, every day. That's amazing. And so she took a look at it. She goes, oh no, you're good. There's two things protected in the court of law: facts and opinions. You didn't cross over any of those. If I would have said something that was like out of line and that went above either of those things, right? If I would have said, oh, this company's beard oil is killing puppies out there. Right. Well, that's not an opinion or a fact, so I could have been in trouble, but I was good. And then I wrote back, said, hey, man, I got my sister. Let's do this. Let's go to court. And then we actually had to go to court. And the crazy thing is I had to go to Chicago. And so I had to go to Chicago for this court case. It wasn't even anything that came to me. And so we went, and it was going and going and going. And they thought that they could just make the money run out. They thought if they held me in court long enough, I would run out of money and that I would just simply take the video down. Well, when they started realizing that they were not going to be able to win that lawsuit, I get an email from somebody else with the same last name, different first name, but same company. And it's like the title of the email is A Bearded Man. I'm like, what the heck, from the company suing me? So I open it and he's like, hey, Dan, I want to introduce myself. I am the founder and CEO of this company. I want to apologize for my son. He is our manager and our lawyer. He gets really really defensive of our company. And I did not really know any of this was going on. I would like to introduce myself. I started North America's largest men's hair care company. This is a spin-off company for beard products. I thought I could treat beards like I did head hair. I'm learning from you. I'm wrong. Let's have a conversation and let's figure this out. And essentially we settled the case, and then they hired me as their lead consultant. And I've been out to Colorado, been out to Vegas, been out to all these places for them, and have pitched to Target and Rite Aid and learned way, 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 way more about the business and building products at that level and getting into big stores and stuff than I ever would have. And none of that would have happened if I just took the video down and got scared. So it's just a crazy, crazy thing. And I haven't actually we've had a bunch of logistical problems. We launched in Rite Aid, and then the supply chain so I haven't even made really much money off them, but how much I've learned has been crazy valuable.
Oh yeah, I bet. Now, did you believe that was the case, that, oh, my son, he got all pissed?
Yeah, I did. It felt like it was, and then now that I've gotten to know them, the son still doesn't like me. He won't even go in on meetings with me. But I've talked to him once. But it's 100% the case.
Because if that would have been me, I'd have been like, sure.
Yeah.
If you're the CEO and you didn't know this was happening, what kind of fucking business are you running?
Yeah, so and the main thing is it was a like a second or third or fourth business for him. He's just kind of like a serial entrepreneur.
Okay. I got you. What's going on, Rob? Oh, man. There were some things here. This one I saw.
Nightfall. Sam still loves it to this day.
Then we got Carrie. How you doing, Carrie? Good to see you, man.
Hopefully I think I get to meet up with Carrie next month.
Fuck you, Carrie. I'm sorry that I have crappy internet, okay? I live in the middle of nowhere.
Seems to be good tonight.
Dan's wants to validate his park.
Yeah.
But I thought I saw Garrett asked something about me liking Amon Amarth. I saw that while you were talking, and I was raised that I don't interrupt people when they're talking. So some of the comments I had missed because I was letting him explain his thing. And I can't find it, but then we got Vato with this stupid shit. This is a thing between me and Cruz, actually.
Yeah.
Where he doesn't understand metal whatsoever, and
Yep.
he thinks I should listen to some hip hop. And it's not that I haven't. It's just I hate it. I mostly when we're in the music stuff, I am very close-minded. For me, it's either going to be metal or it's going to be Norse folk music.
Oh, cool.
And
yeah, I don't like a whole lot of genres of music, but I respect them all. You and I have a common friend in Logan, and he was actually one of my first 100 subscribers, which is really cool.
Yeah, I remember when you saw that, and I was like, how the hell does he know him? Because he's not a metalhead.
Yeah, I'm not. But I firmly believe when you see somebody that is good at what they do, no matter what, as long as you have the perspective, you can respect it. And when you watch his videos of him shredding on those like 6-string, 9-string, like it's crazy to see his skill level. And again, I don't follow metal or anything like that, but I can see the value and the skill in what he does.
Yeah. Yeah, right here. I do enjoy Amon Amarth. Yes, Garrett. I do enjoy them quite a bit. It's a good mix between both for me. But Matt, absolutely fucking not. The one genre of music I hate the most, it is country.
All right. I've been to a couple country concerts. They're fun.
I went to one. And I went I was 17. I think I was 17. The only reason I went was because the girl that I was infatuated with that I wanted to bang wanted me to go.
That is always the common denominator with country concerts. Or you're there to find one. Yeah, one way or the other.
I went to see Kenny Chesney.
I've seen Kenny Chesney.
Oh. Yep. That was if there is a hell, I got to experience it for a night.
So I went to go to a Kenny Chesney concert at the Palace of Auburn Hills in Michigan, and I didn't make it in. I currently do not drink anymore. Nothing. I didn't have like a problem or anything. I just choose not to. I like it better without it. But Kenny Chesney is known for the tailgates and the partying before, and I did. And we went real early. We're gonna tailgate. We're gonna party. I had 100 proof Captain Morgan, and we brought like a portable grill. We brought food. We were gonna just have this great time. Well, we bust out the grill. Security comes around, and they're like, "Oh no open flames in the parking lot." Well, I hadn't eaten food at all, and I had planned on that being my food. Well, going to a Kenny Chesney concert, I wasn't going to stop drinking because I didn't have food. So the party continued on an empty stomach, and yeah, I never made it inside.
Yeah, not drinking that on an empty stomach.
Yeah, it was bad. Real bad. Not much of it. Literally all I remember, the last thing I remember was having a push-up contest against some random guy in the parking lot. And I'm not even good at push-ups. Like it's not even like something skill defined.
Oh, Vato, this question is invalid because I would probably rather just not listen to anything. Period. Then. No, Carrie, you know better than that. I don't even know who this is. Who the hell is Ronnie Radke? I'm assuming it's a country singer.
I don't know that one either.
No, sir, I did not. I did not at all. Unfortunately. So I went through that hell for nothing.
Shade.
Bluegrass Festival. I mean, I don't hate on people that like country. I don't like it. I don't ever hate on anybody for any of their music tastes or whatever their tastes are.
Yeah.
It's kind of like religion or anything. It's you believe what you want to believe. I'll believe what I want to believe, and we don't have to, preach to each other, kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing.
I agree fully.
Chris. Hey Ben, how's it going, man? Good to see you. One of my good buddies when I moved to Austin and I started dating my wife, I was working at Burger King.
Austin,
And
Texas?
Nope, Austin, Minnesota. It was
okay.
it's like an hour and a half away.
Okay.
And I moved there and I was working at Burger King when I started dating her. And when it was just me, I was doing all right. I could make it. I was paying my bills and
Yeah.
I just didn't have much fun money. And when I started seeing her, she's like, okay, it's time to grow up. So I went and got a job at the hog slaughter plant in town because Hormel's headquarters. Obviously, you know what Hormel is.
Oh, yeah.
Their headquarters is in Austin, here in Minnesota.
Okay.
So the hog slaughter plant, it was called Quality Pork Productions, is connected to that. And I started working third shift, and I met this guy there. And been good friends ever since.
It's cool.
He was in my wedding, and
sounds like a lively job.
Unalively.
Exactly.
The working the night shift, like the job itself wasn't so bad because all you were doing was cleaning a machine.
Oh, okay.
Or machines. But the working that third shift, that fucks with your head.
I can't imagine.
I did it for about 2.5 years, almost 3 years. And like, I went from I was over 200 pounds. And in like 8 months, I was down to 155.
Oh, wow.
Because I wasn't eating right. I wasn't sleeping all that much.
Yeah.
I was working there for, I want to say 6 or 7 months, and stuff had gotten so sour between me and Becky, we broke up.
Yeah, it's a hard schedule to maintain any kind of resemblance of a normal relationship.
Yeah, I mean, because I went into it thinking, well, I'm up all night anyway. Why not get paid for it?
Right.
Well, then your appreciation for being able to sleep when it's dark out and all that stuff comes along. And like I said, it messes with your head. I know there are people out there that can do it and have been doing it for years. Kudos to them, but I can't.
Yeah, Mike in the chat, he works at ER third shift, and he's got young kids and a family, and yeah, man, that's tough. Nothing but respect.
And kudos to people that can do it, because I figured out real quick that I could not do it. I started working there in July, and the machine that I was cleaning, it was actually 6 machines, and they were called the whips and the burners. Basically, when the hog carcass come down on the line, it would go through this box with like a few hundred of these whips in it on rollers, and basically it beat all the hair off of them.
Oh.
And then they'd go through a burner, which had a whole bunch of, burners, singers on it. And they went through two cycles of that. And I had to clean all those machines. Well, in that corner that I was in, it was like 130 degrees year round.
Ooh.
On top of that, you have to wear these green suits of plastic, basically, because of all the chemicals you're working with. And then you have a 180 degree hose, temperature hose, wrapped around you. That was another reason why I dropped so much weight so quick. But I almost got heat stroke.
Wow. I bet.
One night, and they had to carry me out, basically set me down. They took what was called a frock. It's just like a big overcoat, basically filled it with ice and threw it on top of me and made me drink water for 45 minutes.
Wow.
It sucked. And I did not enjoy that job very much.
I try to find the positive in most things. That's a tough one.
Yeah, there was a night that we were working a Saturday, or we were going to work a Saturday because it was Friday night. I was going to miss a party that I wanted to be at, and I was pissed about that because at the same time I had to be back to work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon because we normally went in at 10, but on a Saturday we were only working 5-hour shifts, so we had to go in at 5. Well, I decided after I got off work Saturday morning, I'm going to go get hammered as quick as I can. Went and drank Jim Beam like I was drinking beer.
Ooh.
Did not wake up in time to go to work. Waking up to phone calls. I go into work saying, I overslept. I forgot. I didn't set my alarm, whatever, whatnot. Proceeded through misery, hungover as hell, puking on the floor, which was okay because I could just wash it down the drain. And that was when I decided, okay, I'm not drinking before work ever again.
Yep. Experience is the best teacher.
Yes, that was a dumb thing for me to do. I will say that. But then after that, I ended up figuring out I want to go on to first shift, and then my hatred for hogs started then. So I went out into the barn, and I was a driver.
Okay.
And I hate hogs. I grew up with them because my family are hog farmers. And then I go and do that job. It just solidified that I don't want to be around hogs ever again.
I can imagine, man.
I have a question for you. I've been thinking about that. Ever since you started growing your beard, what is one thing that has unexpectedly happened because of your beard to you?
Oh, man.
One that sticks out. One that sticks out heavily.
Okay. I would probably say...
What's going on, Steven?
Yeah, hey, Steven. I would say probably non-sexual compliments from everyone, everywhere I go. Whether it's a restaurant or a gas station or a store, there's a high likelihood somebody will compliment my beard everywhere I go. And before I had a beard, I received 0 compliments anywhere I went, like, period. And I never got any compliments. You don't have women that come up to you and like, oh, you did a great job shaving, like you're super cute, anything like that. Doesn't exist, but now it's like, oh man, great beard. And it doesn't matter if it's men, doesn't matter if it's women. And I live in a very diverse area, and like, for example, like the black chicks, the ladies love my beard, and so that was something that I didn't grow it out to get compliments. I didn't grow it out to have a conversation starter, but it's just inevitable. Literally doesn't matter where, somebody's going to compliment on the beard and start a conversation. Sam's going to roll her eyes, and do the normal thing because it's everywhere. So that would be, I would say that was the biggest one that I had to get used to, and I love it and kind of embrace it now.
Okay. What's going on, Travis? Good to see you, man.
Travis?
Jay from Elite. How you doing, sir?
What's up, Jay?
So mine, and so it's not taken out of context. I have nothing against these people. I have friends that are this way. There is no hatred, no nothing. But since I've grown my beard out, the amount of gay men that have come out of the woodwork hitting on me, or I recently looked at the friend requests that I have on Facebook.
Oh yeah,
and
there
is probably, I think I'm up to 120 friend requests, and probably 90% of them are gay men. And previous to growing the beard, nothing.
I agree with you online. In person, I don't notice like any like advancements like that, but online, yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. My favorite is like older guys that don't quite get it. Here's my favorite line of all time. This is me. You'll hear me pushing PG-13. Watch out. My favorite line of all time is I had a guy reach out to me, older gentleman, and he said, Dan, I have a question for you. I'm on social media and I don't know what to do with all of the women of the large breast variety that keep reaching out to me. And I was like, that was the most amazing way to put that statement. And I had to like break his heart and tell him like they're not real. Like, I'm so sorry, man. They're bots trying to take your money. But I had
Yep.
never heard the phrase women of the large breasted variety. It's like, that's
and
good.
and actually, I've had conversations with a handful of them, and yes, they're not very happy when I tell them I'm married, I'm straight, I have
Right.
a kid. But actually, some of them I've had very good conversations with, and one of them told me, he's like, "Hey, I've heard there's nothing more higher compliment than one man telling another man a compliment." And I said,
There you go.
"All right, well, I'll take it that way."
There you go.
But yeah,
Well,
that is something that was
mhm.
unexpected.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Jason, do you run into any old school coworkers in your neighborhood? Well, since my neighborhood is farmland. Oh, you're talking about Dan C. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I didn't see the since you left teaching part.
Jason, every day. So I taught for 12 years. I coached for 16 years. I graduated from my same school that I taught at and same district I live in. My kids go to the same district, so it's the same circle over and over again. The meetup. There's I don't know if I know Garrett's in here, but the second I walked in to B Dubs, there was literally a table full of former students and their parents, and they just like lit up and stuff. The interactions are 99.9% like overwhelmingly positive. We miss you. You're the best, blah, blah, blah. The only time it's not is with like horrible former coworkers. Cause like, it's another thing. Like I said earlier, if you ask me a question, I'm gonna tell the answer, but I also don't interact with people I don't like. Like, I'm not fake. Like, if somebody reached out to me that I don't like, I'm not gonna be, hey, how you doing? I miss you. Like, it's gonna be pretty dang clear. And so the only time it's negative is when I run into like a terrible old coworker. Here, perfect story. I don't know if I told it on Wednesday or not, and the mayor got kind of like mad at me for this one because he still works there. There was this mom. She is a teacher at the high school that I went to. I coached her kids in swimming and water polo. She is a horrible human, an absolutely atrocious human. Her husband doesn't speak and just sits there like a little mouse because he's scared of her and isn't a man. And yeah, just an awful human. Well, for whatever reason, she essentially the story is her kid was going to miss a game, and so we have like rules. If you miss a game, this happens, this happens. She didn't like it, so she called a meeting with the athletic director and just went off the deep end. Said I was bullying her kids since the 7th grade and all this stuff that just wasn't true. Like, said that I called him over one day. It was like, your practice was terrible. You're the worst. Like, just made stuff up. Well, she left, and then the athletic director was like, hold on, Dan. I'm like, all right, man. And I wasn't defensive. I sat there pretty quiet because I'm like, this is just ridiculous. He was like, I'm going to handle her. He goes, I'm actually her boss. I'm the athletic director, but I'm also an assistant principal here. So I'm going to handle her. She cannot act that way as an employee. Just know that this is all garbage. I don't believe any of it. Just go do your job. I'm like, okay. So this lady, I was walking into Speedway the other day. She's right in front of me. And we don't get along. Like, this is not a human I like, and I never want to like. She turns to see me. I haven't seen her in probably 2 years. She starts to light up like she's going to be like, oh, how you doing? I go, and I point, I turn and walk away from her. And then she storms out. She didn't even go and buy what she was going to buy. She was so mad. She stormed out of the gas station. Steve was like, you can't do that. And I go, oh, that's the greatest thing in the world about leaving my job. I can do that. Like, I can. It's amazing. So almost all of them are amazing, except for people like her. Yeah, Brenda, I see you.
Those are the ones that now I'm like, ha, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I do not like you.
I said it with my eyes, that's for sure.
Oh, Yes, Ellie. I'd try to take it that way. I had been
For sure.
when I first went to college, and me and my roommate, we had went to high school together. Well, we were living in this apartment complex, and this guy that was in one of the other apartment buildings was coming over. He had brought some booze over and was all right, we'll drink. And we're getting hammered, and this guy just looks at us and he's like, so when I'm sober, I'm straight. When I'm a little drunk, I'm kind of bi. And when I'm really drunk, I'm full blown gay. And at this point, of course, he's full blown drunk. And my roommate and I look at each other, and then we look at him, and we're like, all right, well, we like women. So you just keep that to yourself, kind of thing. Well, he was living with the guy that was like the building manager. And he was coming over, and we noticed the one day that guy wasn't around anymore. And so building manager was over, and we asked him what happened to him. He was a good dude and whatnot. I kicked him out. What for? Well, the other night he was all drunk, and he was talking about you guys.
Oh.
I'm like, okay. Like, I mean, we weren't doing nothing wrong or anything. We're drinking underage, but, so was he. He's like, no, right. I don't give a shit about that. He was talking about you guys where it was that Cody, he's pretty cute, but that Dan, I would fuck him. and and his name was Merlin, and he looked, and Merlin was the manager, and he's like, they both like pussy. You stay away from them. And he said, well, if I get him drunk enough, and he said, you get the fuck out of here right now. I don't ever want to see you here again.
Right.
I could not believe that had happened. That was the only other time until now with the beard that I had dealt with anything like that. But I had that story to sit with for my whole life, and I couldn't believe how hilarious it was that he stood up to him and said, no. No.
Right, because that crossed the line. It was no more complimentary. That was now crossing the line to like illegal. Like if I get him drunk enough, if I take advantage of him, that's you cross the line. Yeah, I'm cool. I feel like if anybody, I'll take a compliment from anybody, and if you don't, you're just insecure, right? If somebody if you are straight and a gay man gives you a compliment and you like freak out about that, there's something going on with you, right? There's something inside you to try and broadcast that you're so far against that, but once it crosses the line and they're trying to make advancements and they're trying to take advantage of stuff, now you cross the line. Now you got to go.
Yep, this right here. Yep, triple B, exactly.
Right.
I was partying with my brother, and he had come to visit, and there was a gay man that worked at the bar that a bunch of people had come from. And we were having a party at the apartment, and he was there, and the guy asked my brother for a cigarette, and my brother said, here you go. I gave him one, and he goes, oh, you're a lifesaver. And he's like, lifesavers have small holes. I don't.
Oh, geez.
And my brother kind of went, okay, and he walked away.
Yeah, that's a bit much. Yeah, you can say nice beard, man.
Ha ha, Vato. Ha ha.
That's all Michael asked earlier if I miss coaching. Almost all aspects, no. The amount of time and investment, whether it's at the facility or at home, and planning and thinking that goes into being like a high-level successful coach, it's like I could go coach my son's little soccer team and stuff, like that's nothing. I'm going to be at the games anyway. But coaching a varsity, like state champion level team with literal All-Americans, college scholarships on the line, all that stuff, like that time commitment's crazy. Imagine teaching all day and then go coach all night, and then on the weekends go to tournaments and coach, all while you have a wife and little kids back home. that is just too taxing. Now, the aspect that I do miss is kind of the like the bro side, I guess you would say, the kind of like the man side of things where it's like I can go to practice, I can get on somebody, right? I mean, I said I don't swear publicly and all that stuff, but I would get on them, right? If I felt like our team was slacking, there would be one practice a year where I would toss a chair in the pool and I would go, hey, get out of the pool, get in the locker room, and then I'd wait to hear somebody in the locker room, and I'd bust in the locker room. And I would just rip them, you know? And then the next day we'd come back and we'd do a good play, and then I get to flip it on the bro side, like, let's go! And like
Yeah.
get those, like, with 7, 5, 3-year-old and a wife, you don't have many moments where you get to have either side of that spectrum. You know, you got to kind of stay in the middle. I don't get to get too many things where I'm pounding my chest, let's go. But I also don't get to get where I'm kicking them out and screaming at them too. So I do miss that aspect of things, but not at the cost of what it took, the toll on my family. So little bit, but vastly no.
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't get me started on the parent side of things. Man, and especially like for me, a sport like water polo. I always started the meet. I would have a parent meeting every year. I'd start the parent meeting and I would say, if you played water polo in high school, please raise your hand. And once in a great while, I'd have a couple. If you played water polo in college, please keep your hand up. No one? Okay. If you played water polo on the national team, please keep your hand up. No. Okay. I do. Remember that and shut the hell up. So like, I literally would start the meeting, but in sports like football and stuff like that, like just imagine the parents that back in my day, we do this, at least water polo, I could always go back to that, but they would still, and then they would approach me and be like, well, I watched the other team and I saw that they did this well. We should try that. I'm like, yeah, make your kid get faster and stronger. That would be great. I would love that. And so, yeah, I don't miss any of those aspects, but I do miss, hey, we got a big game. I'm going to scout them. This is our game plan. This is how we're going to get there. Let's practice it. And then we go and we actually execute it. And the kids go run and hug their parents. And like, that's a cool feeling. That's a really, really cool feeling. I just have it in different ways now. So
Right.
no, most of it I don't miss.
Kudos to you for dealing with kids, period. I only have to deal with one for the rest of my life. That's enough for me.
Yeah. Yep.
Especially like my kid. So I innately in my brain have to. But like other people's kids, holy shit. I don't know how.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the job you described, inherently everyone can understand how difficult. Third shift, the heat, it's physical. There's a whole lot there. Teaching is difficult, but just in a vastly different way. It's not as physically demanding, but imagine somebody that has absolutely no intellectual ability, and then they come in and tell you you're doing your job wrong. They come in and tell you the most blasphemous stuff you could ever imagine. And you literally have to smile and say, yes, ma'am, thank you. And sit there while your brain is just racing with all the things that are going on in your head right now that you want to say and scream and do, but you can't. You just simply have to say, yes, ma'am, you're right. Because we're trained in customer service. We're trained in not saying those things. That's difficult, man. That's really difficult.
I believe wholeheartedly. My wife worked retail, so I got all of that dumped on me when she got home.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Same. You got to tell the story. You got to vent. You got to get it out.
So I mean, working with people, and like I could never do that. I can't keep it in. I can't.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough, and then just people accusing things and just just wild things, like to the point where it's like a student asks for help. Well, it's like, okay, you need to bring a friend. We need to keep the door open. Can I have a coworker stand by the door? Like just stuff that a lot of professions don't have to think about. That's mentally taxing. That's mentally just wearing and having. Oh man, I could go on and on. It's a very, very challenging job in a unique way, but. I know there's so many. I know there's a lot of people that are doing hard labor jobs and stuff that are just like shaking their head at me. And it's like, you got to understand the hardest problem you have is the hardest problem you have. You know,
No.
like you whatever situation you're in life, you got to respect that. So for me, teaching also helped me understand that too. Like a middle schooler, someone would say like, "Oh, the girl broke up with this boy and he's devastated." Like, it's just a girl. Well, to him, that's the hardest problem he's ever had. So it's you got to respect that and understand that.
You got to try to put yourself. I mean,
Yeah,
remember that when you were at that age and you
for sure.
suffered your first heartbreak kind of thing. And
For sure.
have a good night, Brewer, if you're still here. um, Garrett, there's levels to this because if we're gonna, are we going like current? Are we going past? Because both of these bands suck ass now. Now,
I haven't heard anything new from Slipknot, but Korn is. I just heard atrocious. I literally was listening the other day. So I listen to metal when I work out. That's my workout music. And I knew Korn came on. And I was like, what? It's almost like a alternative punk now. Like it's a whole different genre of music.
yeah, they went from having the good new metal feel
Yeah.
when they started, and then all of a sudden the dubstep era happened,
Yeah.
and they got into that, and I quit listening to them at that point. That I pretty much stopped listening to them after Untouchables.
Yeah. Yeah. So who at their peak, at the prime?
Their prime, oh, like Korn at Follow the Leader or Slipknot's Iowa. I mean, no, that Korn is more new metal, so I would say like in their separate genres, because Slipknot's Iowa was more of the metal,
Right.
and Korn is more the new metal. So it's hard to, but if I had to, Iowa from Slipknot will blow Korn out of the water every time, in my opinion.
There you go. So my like
What's going on,
rock, I
Mark?
guess you would say, is probably not exactly your wheelhouse, but like I've gone to a couple concerts and stuff, but I enjoy like 3 Days Grace and kind of that. What would be that genre? Was that new metal or?
Like 3 Days Grace, that's more like a hard rock.
Okay.
It's not. It doesn't really step into the metal area. It's more of a hard rock, like them, Chevelle, Godsmack. That's
Yeah.
like your hard rock stuff. And there's some of that stuff that I like. I loved Godsmack and Chevelle and stuff. I never really got into 3 Days Grace. They had that like love hate song or whatever it was.
Yeah, I like 3 Days Grace. I like Breaking Benjamin. Just kind of the ones in that genre is I that's what I listen to when I work out.
Okay, yeah, Gary, you're right. Yeah, it's like an alternative rock kind of. So, like Breaking Benjamin, I enjoyed some of their old stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to any of them newer, but
Right. And yeah, I have like a specific, like it was like if I had to pick a song right now to work out to, it'd be Riot or Pain or some of these ones. Like those were some of my like bangers, you know. That was like high school, and that was when it just kind of resonates with me.
all time you have to choose to listen to one of them and forget the other. That would end up being Slipknot then, because the way Korn went, at least Slipknot still has their metal roots to them. Korn like forgot everything. So I'd have to go with Slipknot then. Wear the same underwear for a week or the same socks for a month? Probably same socks for a month.
Oh, underwear all day. Dude, I hate socks. I hate socks, man. If you catch me with socks, you should feel lucky, because I don't put on socks for anybody.
I don't know, the thought of the same underwear for a week.
Yeah,
Better wipe your ass really good.
Oh yeah, hey, check, good. Socks get all crusty and like I don't have the nicest feet, man. So I can't do socks.
What's going on, Wiley? I didn't see you were in here. How you doing, sir? Holy crap. Yeah, exactly, Chris. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't worn socks in years. Slippers on. Well, look at where you live.
Right. Right.
I mean, you live in Hawaii, Ken. You should never wear socks.
Yeah.
What do you wear outside, Dancy?
Hey, let's not worry about that right now.
Oh, I'm ex-military. I've done both in the field when I was, well, you're an exception there, Chris. When you don't really have a choice, period. McDonald's Sprite or airplane ginger ale?
I've only had one, so I'm gonna go McDonald's Sprite.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've only had the McDonald's Sprite. I've never had the airplane ginger ale there, Chris.
I don't think I had ginger ale since I was a little child.
People that wear socks to bed.
Oh,
I get that part.
oh,
I get that, Chris.
oh, oh. Yeah, people that wear like pants to bed or like long sleeve shirts, like don't you get tangled up? Don't you get? I'm a heater, man. I run hot. Like I do not get cold often. Like it's in the middle of winter right now. You will not catch. I got shorts on, no socks. Like I don't. Yeah, I can't do any of that. I get way too hot in bed.
I sleep in the nude, so
there you go.
not gonna catch me with socks on.
Yeah, socks to bed. That's.
I gotta say, this guy's reels that he's been doing lately that I've seen. It's awesome that he's got his wife so intertwined with him with it.
Oh no, you're saying it wrong. It's so awesome that she has him intertwined with it. She is the brains behind the operation.
Ah. Well, you're getting called out there, Garrett.
No, he says it. He gives her all the love. They're great, like an awesome couple.
Everything I do solo. Sucks would be weird that at that. Oh, well, yeah, it would be. Using a comb made of toenail clippings on your beard or using mayo for beard products?
No.
No. What the hell, Triple B? Where did that question even, like, how did that even come to your mind?
Yeah. That scares me, Scott.
Can't sleep with socks unless tent camping and it's cold. I mean, you at this point you're sleeping in your clothes inside your sleeping bag. That's all you're doing. If you're camping, there are exceptions to the rule, everybody. This is if you're in your comfortable house in your bed.
Yeah, Garrett, I was just trying to give you the assist, man, to set it up. So now you took it back. Now Melissa's gonna be like, oh man, that was a lob, Garrett. Come on, man. On his stream, in one stream on his own channel, he talked more than. Yeah, I know, Gary, but that's because Joe doesn't shut up. It like became a thing for you too, like how many few words Dan can say.
Oh yeah, there's a whole thing around it that I get paid by the word to be on that show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but
yeah, it's tough to break out of a thing once it becomes a thing.
Well, that's why the Sasquatch thing still, or like Vato does the so easy a caveman can do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's everybody's just jealous of the long hair because 90% of the guys in the beard community are bald.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I'm just sexier than you guys. It's just.
How old are you, Dan?
I just turned 35 in December.
Okay, I thought we were pretty much the same age.
Yep, and wife turns 35 in March.
Okay, yeah, I turned 35 in May.
and the kid turns 4. Holy shit, is it flying by?
That's awesome.
Becky just took her to, I guess they do like testing for kindergarten now.
Yeah, legally they have to. Yep.
I don't remember that being a thing when I was, but that's a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
But she took her in to get her testing done, and I guess 35 was the passing, and my daughter got a 63.
Let's go.
Yeah, it was when she told me that I was like, "Holy!" All right, well, guess you're gonna be brilliant. So when you get older, you're gonna be supporting mom and dad.
There you go.
Okay. Becky blew this up a lot more than it really was. I know I'm starting to gray. It's going to happen because, like, this whole front here is red. Okay. And I've got Irish, Scottish, and I'm Norwegian. It's going to gray. I just thought I had a few more years, like into 40, 45 maybe, before I started graying. I did not cry, Chris. What kind of shampoo and conditioner you use in your hair? For me, I have been trying that Pros. Have you heard of that before?
Yeah, yep.
I've been trying that out to see if it's all that it's cracked up to be.
Nice.
Oh, you use a special?
I normally use my beard wash of the day, and then I have a tea tree shampoo, like tingly one, like makes your skin do that little tingles, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't use conditioner on my head hair; it's too short.
Sorry, Gary. Wait until they are 10. Dude, that's crazy. I remember when you were freaking out when your wife was pregnant still. God, time is flying by. And it just goes faster the older you get.
Yeah.
That I've realized.
Yeah, I love the quote, days are long, years are short.
Oh, man. Red doesn't gray. Oh, gray, white, same thing.
Ken, he's a teacher. He teaches colors. That's his main job. Blue. Yay.
Yay. Like L'Oreal and Thor. What did I miss?
He just had one up. He had one up above said Thoriel.
Oh, he uses Thoriel.
Yeah, his wife is she does hair, and I'm going to the other Austin. I'm going to Austin, Texas next month, and I'm going to the Beard Brand headquarters and doing a cut there. They're gonna do a video, and that's my thing. Is exactly, Garrett. I'm like, hey, just do whatever you want. I wear a hat most of the time, so I am growing it until then, so it's looking a little bit more scraggly than I normally have it, especially on the sides. But I'm just gonna tell them, hey, do whatever you think is best. Have some fun with it.
See, I wore, when I was, younger in my teens, my 20s even, I wore a baseball hat all the time. If I left the house, I had a hat on all the time. And it was because I was self-conscious because I have a big forehead.
Oh, yep.
So that made me self-conscious. And when I decided that I was going to grow my hair out this time, because I've done it once before. I grew my hair out, I grew my beard, and I didn't take care of it in any way. It looked absolutely terrible. It was bad. And the wife convinced me to cut it all off, and she said, don't ever do it again. So, but once my daughter was born and I started following the spiritual path that I'm following, I made the decision that I'm going to grow it all back out until I die, basically. And when I still have a picture of when all the products that I bought the first time I bought stuff, because I did a lot of research into taking care of it because I did not want to go down that path again.
Right.
And I ended up buying a beard straightener. I bought an oil from Zilbahar. Have you ever used Zilbahar before?
I've used their brushes. They're like world famous for their brushes, but I haven't
Yep.
used their oil.
They just had like a regular oil, an unscented oil. I bought a balm from like QTB or something like that. I had a
Amazon
mustache.
one.
Yeah, it was an Amazon one.
Yep.
I basically what I did was what every new guy does is he goes to Google and Google's best products and then go from there.
Or Amazon sort by least.
Yep.
By cheapest.
And I got all the products. I started using it and then started getting into Instagram and following and just went down that rabbit hole, of course.
Yep.
And now, like, somebody asked my wife if he had to shave one, his beard or his hair, which one? She says the beard because the last time I was bald, she was like, you do it again, I'll leave you. And I said, well, what happens if I start to bald? You know, like male pattern baldness type stuff. That's a different story. You can't help that. But if
Good answer.
If you voluntarily cut it off, because the last time I did, I lost a bet to my dad. And he said if the bet was if I lost, he got to bick my head because my hair was longer. My dad was very clean cut.
Yeah, mine too.
You know, it drove him nuts if I had longer hair, if it was shaggy or whatnot. And he was kind of drunk one night, and we made the bet, and I ended up losing. And he brings out his big shears, and he shaves my head off, and he pulls out his razor, and he starts razoring my head. And Becky's sitting there like, "Fuck."
Just fuming.
Yeah, she was not happy.
Yeah, no, I was kind of the opposite. I never ever wore hats when I was younger. I hated the way I looked in hats. I don't know, I just absolutely hated it. I didn't start until like 5-6 years ago, pretty much around the time of the channel. When I started the channel, this is crazy. When I started the channel, I had one hat. The Adidas hat in my introduction. That was the entirety of my hat collection. And then now I have like 150 something between upstairs and downstairs.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Nope. I still like wearing my beanies, but when I wear a baseball hat with my long hair, I don't like the look of it. I think it looks kind of stupid, in my opinion. So I wear my beanies. Otherwise, I don't wear a hat anymore. I've kind of gotten myself past that self-conscious for whatever reason. I just made myself basically.
Yeah.
This one here. Beard and hair. Me, I have been growing since 2019. It was when my daughter was born. I made the decision that day.
Okay. I hear that a lot. I hear a lot of stories of people that grow out their beard or grow out their hair based on like the birth of a child.
Yep. Yeah, I still look at the pictures from the day that she was born, and I was like, I used to look like that. And Becky always tells me, "Oh, when you were young," even though it was only 4 years ago.
Right.
It's like, yeah, the beard and the long hair make me look older. Yes, I understand. It does every man when they grow their beard out.
Hey, thanks, Mike. Yeah, I got some good dudes. For sure.
Rammstein. Many years of love for Rammstein, Garrett. Many years of love. First time I ever heard them was I was watching Headbangers Ball on MTV2, and Sonne music video came up. That was the first time I ever heard of them. Yeah, that's because Becky likes to play jokes, Chris. So it happens.
I have Chris posted online for sale some feet pics, and I got those. So if you ever need some collateral, I'll
Oh,
ship them over to you.
all right, Chris. Haha. Well, sir, I don't know how long you allotted for tonight.
Yeah, so I would say somewhere between now and I got probably another half hour
I don't
if we're
want to.
still rolling and stuff. So yeah, I planned on about an hour and a half to 2 hours,
I did not
judging
want to
by
take
your
up too
previous
much.
shows. I know
I
you
did not
had
want
like,
to take up too much of your time.
yeah, no, I appreciate that.
So I would have asked you in the green room, but
No, yeah,
didn't quite get to that point.
yeah, no worries.
Well, you should think of that before you open your fucking mouth, Chris.
Hey, the
People that
internet's
got
a
dirt on you.
wide open place, man. Yeah, my family was not supportive of the beard. My parents were not supportive of the beard either.
Mine were not. My dad gave me shit all the time about being in a biker gang because I have my bandana that I wear. And he said, "So when are you getting cast on Sons of Anarchy?" And he
I
would
was
give
just
me
gonna say, yeah, you were great on Sun. I loved when you played Opie. It was awesome.
I cannot believe how much that is. I did a TikTok on that, and it got like a little over 10,000 views, and there's
Nice.
probably 2,000 comments, and pretty much every single one of them was, "Holy shit, you do!"
Yeah.
I didn't realize I looked it like that, like him that much, but I mean, I'll
Oh
take it
yeah,
as a compliment, I guess.
for sure.
But my dad was a very clean cut. He would grow a beard during harvest, but that was mostly because he didn't do anything else other than, I mean, he barely even showered or ate, let alone take time to shave his face.
Right.
Other than
Yeah.
that, he just had, for many years he had a mustache, and then I would say the last decade or so he had like the goatee.
Okay.
My mom, she did not like the facial hair whatsoever.
What kind of facial hair did she rock?
she had a she had a little bit of a mustache, that happens after women go through menopause, I
There you
guess.
go.
But she never got to see this journey, the doing YouTube and all that. My dad didn't see much of it. He got pretty supportive, but he kind of got to the point of where, like, I'm just glad you're doing something you enjoy doing.
That's cool. Yeah, my parents are pretty neutral with it. It's not something that they like speak super proudly of or something that they encourage me on, but they don't necessarily discourage me. Leaving teaching, they were like, "Are you sure your pension, your insurance, your this, your that, your job, the security, your salary?" They ran through every which way to try and in the roundest way possible get me to not do that. So yeah, it's a little bit, but I take everything. I never get discouraged by anybody. I always just take it, put it on the shoulder, roll with it. I like when people doubt me. I like when people talk bad about me. I shouldn't rely on that stuff, but it fuels me. I was an athlete. I was a coach. I like that stuff. So I'm always observing. I talk a lot, but I observe way more than I talk. And most of the time, I never comment on it. I don't go out of my way and tell people things. I just put it right there, And it's
Right.
whether it's a company owner, whether it's a viewer, whether it's a family member. I need that stuff, man. I love having a chip on my shoulder. I don't like being the favorite. I don't like being like, and I always got to find, even if it's not there, I got to find a way to be the underdog. I got to find a way to have something, no matter what.
Yeah, I was kind of the black sheep of the family in that sense too. But that was because my brother and sister never really left home. They both went to school for a year in Mankato, which was about 45 minutes north of our hometown. And then after that first year, they both came back home. Both worked for my mom and dad. Both lived in places that my mom and dad owned for farming reasons. So I was the only one that left and stayed gone, I guess you could say. I didn't move back towards my family for 12 years.
Yeah.
So I was the outsider in that sense. There are people in this town that still don't know that I exist.
Wow.
They've always thought, well, I only thought there was the two Nave kids. Because when was it just last week we had to go talk with some insurance stuff with our parents' estate, and the agent or whatever we were talking to, he's looking at me like, who the hell are you, basically? But he's talking to my brother and sister like he's known them for years. And, well, do you know this person or do you know that person? And my brother and sister are like, oh yeah, I know that. And it's like, oh, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But obviously you don't even know who I am. So
Right. Yeah, I can fully understand what I have two younger sisters, and they're both brilliant. One went to U of M Medical School and works at Northwestern Hospital in Chicago. The other went to Cornell Ivy League Law School and is one of the highest powered lawyers in the world. And so, like, for me, and I grew up kind of poor. My parents didn't have money. I was the first person on either side of my family to go to college. And like, this is going to sound crazy, but we had an actual poster in our house. This was my dad's theme, and it was framed and in our house. It was more so towards my sisters, but also towards me. And it said, "Marry for money, love will come later." That's how I was raised, because my parents experienced not having money, and they didn't want their kids to go through that, right? Just like any parent would or should. And so that was the whole lens of it. Literally framed in our house, marry for money, love will come later. And that was their whole frame. Well, imagine telling that dad that you're going to be a teacher. Imagine telling that dad that your first 5 years of teaching, you're going to make $35,000 a year. So, and then you have sisters that's going to be a lawyer, super high powered. You have sister that works at a hospital, all that stuff, super, like, lots of money and stuff. And then it's like, yeah, I'm going to be a teacher. And then they finally kind of come to terms with that. And you say, well, hey, I'm actually going to leave that job and have a job where I have no insurance, no salary, no security in any aspect of my life. And I'm going to do this thing called YouTube that you don't really understand.
And they look at you like, where the fuck did I go wrong?
Yeah, it's a wild thing, and like I said, I love feeling doubted. I love feeling slighted. Like if I feel like somebody has taken advantage of me or tried to do something against me, I love that. I'm never gonna tell them. I just put it in my pocket. I work. I grind. I use that stuff way more than people would ever realize. But it's just how I operate.
And it's not a bad thing. I mean, people can really thrive off of that.
For sure.
Some people, it tears them down, and
yeah,
they have a hard time functioning in a sense.
Sure. There's so many things like that. It's like, yeah, I can have people talk about me, and I can either use it and use it as fuel, or I can shrivel away and let it kill. Like, people, one of my least favorite phrases is people saying, like, I just can't handle it anymore in the community. It's like, why are you so weak that you let somebody else determine your path? Nobody ever is going to determine what I like and what I do. You don't get that power over me. I'm not leaving because of anybody else. If anything, I'm going to be bigger, I'm going to be louder, I'm going to be stronger, and I'm going to shove it down your throat while I'm stepping on your throat. So you're going to feel that. And you feel like you're making a difference against me? I'm going to show you that you're not, And the same kind of thing, people say, oh, you're arrogant, you're cocky, or this or that. And it's like, number one, I'm not. I don't think really anybody that I interact with is. But if you had the choice, would you rather love yourself or hate yourself? I'm going to take love myself all day, like all day. And so, yeah, people can, again, keep judging, keep doing all those things. It's just about how you use it.
Right. That is very true. How you doing, Joe? Good to see you. Yeah, nice of you to show up.
What's up, bro?
Did you win the tournament though, or are you just bullshitting? That's the question.
Evidence.
I want to know if you won that. Did you get that card that you wanted so bad?
Hey, Sammy. That's crazy. Yeah, I've known Joe and Sammy and them since pretty much the beginning. Even I remember back to like a Sammy birthday and sending her out a shirt that had the logo on it and seeing the videos when she was just like, this is probably 5-6 years ago now. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, yeah. He's mentioned that a few times
Yeah,
that
it's
you have done a lot for him in that sense, and
hey
for
man,
Sam.
that goes for anybody. I'm always available. People just for whatever reason don't ask because I don't know. They think I don't respond or answer or whatever, or they feel like they're a bother. Nobody's ever a bother to me. So a beautiful thing for me is I don't have notifications on my phone other than my text and my calls, because I only open up Instagram when I want. I only open up YouTube when I want. I only open up email when I want. So when people feel like they're a bother, feel like they're bugging me, it's like, no, I physically chose to open that. If I didn't want to open your message, trust me, I wouldn't.
I
And
won't.
so,
Yeah.
like, I love that. So if anybody ever needs anything, man, reach out. Genuinely, you might be you might be surprised.
Did you ever feel like, I don't mean it in the sense that it's going to sound, but do you ever
Yeah.
feel like you were going to get to a point where in this little beard world that we're in, become the celebrity status that people give you?
Oh man. So I'm a naturally confident person and I don't do things I'm bad at, right? I can't sing. I can't touch my toes. I can't draw. Like there's just a ton of stuff I can't do. And so if I do something, I'm usually supremely confident that I'm going to excel at it, right? Coaching, I got Coach of the Year in 2018. Last year, I got top 100 teacher in North America. Like if I do something, I'm all in. YouTube was kind of unique and interesting though, because I didn't start it to have numbers. I didn't start it to make money. And people say that, but mine's actually true. And I think that's part of the reason why I had longevity and why I've never taken a break. Like almost everybody, at least in this niche, takes a break, switches content, stops, leaves, never comes back again, comes back after a long hiatus. I've never done that. I've never missed a video because I didn't start to be like, I'm going to have a lot of subscribers or I'm going to make money or I'm going to get free stuff. I literally started because my wife told me she thought I would be good at it. And I am still to this day infatuated with my wife. Like I love her, but I am massively in love with her. And this was 5 years ago when the channel started. And she said, I think you'd be good at that. You should try that. And I was like, oh my God, my wife thinks I'd be good at this. Let me try it. So I started making videos and it was about something I was passionate about. And so when it began, I was just doing it for that reason. I wanted to be good at it. I set a path. One of the biggest things, and I love your originality, and this would fit in this perfectly, is I kind of surveyed the scene, and there were only a couple of channels at this time. There were 0 live streams at this time. That did not exist in the beard community. But there were a couple channels, obviously Scuba being the biggest, and a couple other ones out there. But I was like, oh man, there's nothing like a teacher. There's nothing, nobody has their wife involved. And there was a couple of things that I thought were really, no one had a family-friendly channel. You had Scuba, who, again, good friend of mine, burps, swears, talk about getting chicks. He's got some older videos that are just flagrant, like just flagrant about some things that can go in your beard, you know what I mean? And I'm like, that's not me, number one, but I need to be different. I need to differentiate myself. And so I set that path, and you can go back and watch my introduction. I was like, I'm going to bring in my wife. She's going to, I think that's important because she has to smell these scents, and I want her sharing what it's like. I'm going to be family friendly. I'm going to be educational. And so I set myself up to be different, but I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to take over. But on the flip side of things, if you were to ask me right now, Dan, do you think you'll get to 1 million subscribers? I do. I know I will. I know I'll be the first beard individual content creator to get to 1 million in an authentic way. There's ways you can get numbers in an unauthentic way. So no, like I didn't set out and think that this was going to form in the way that it has, but I wouldn't have doubted myself. If you would have asked me something specific and say, hey, would you get here or there? I would not have doubted myself. The beard niche is interesting because so many people have fallen off and so many people have become inconsistent. It's almost like just the consistency alone has lifted platforms, and
Yep.
I'm a consistent creature, so I've kind of benefited from that. But it was never an intention or anything like that as a goal. It just genuinely
It
wasn't.
just happened.
Yeah, truly.
Okay. Yeah, because I took a year-long break. Right now, I'm stuck trying to figure out my DaVinci thing after I got screwed by my app. My consistency is not good.
Yeah.
As far as making videos. I mean,
Right.
last week where I've been trying to stick with I'm going to do the live stream on Friday regardless, unless like what happened last week where I was puking.
Yeah.
And like with Sean, him and I, or not Sean, uh Tyson, we've got another date set to redo and make up the show and whatnot. It wasn't I canceled it or I didn't want to do it because of this or that. It was I got sick
Yeah.
and I don't want to be sitting here like this and be like, okay, Tyson, you need to carry the show for me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I hear you.
So speaking of Sean, how you doing, Sean? What's going on? Yes, sir. I did win, by the way. Now you have a chance at $5,000.
What is he playing?
He plays a game called Flesh and Blood. It's a card
Okay.
game. I've never got into it, but I think it's semi like Magic.
Yeah, like Pokemon Magic kind of world type thing. For sure, Chris. Yeah, absolutely, man.
We make our videos to make people's day and get a few laughs. I mean, that's what you should be making content for.
Sure.
Not like I hope this gets so many views or so many likes or any of that. You should be like that's like with my TikTok. I did that. I hated TikTok. I thought it was stupid as hell. And then I thought, you know what? I'm gonna try it because the wife kind of convinced me to. She's like,
Yeah.
maybe you'd make some funny stuff. And now I mean, I haven't done any for a little while now, but that's mostly because I don't have any good ideas.
Yeah, I reached out to you early on TikTok stuff, and I was like, "Oh, you got it, man. This is your thing."
And I'm pretty sure I'm still shadow banned on there because I got guidelined a few times.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you were pushing it on a few videos. I can see that. I can see that. And there's so much truth to that too. Like you mentioned earlier, people and stigmas about making money off videos or paid videos, paid reviews, and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, of course, the people that want to criticize and the people that want to go with half truths and are just miserable and stuff, they never seem to want to acknowledge I do 3 videos a week. 2 of them don't make pennies. Like 2 of them are always a trim, an educational video, a carrier oil. You want to conveniently forget about those? Like you know that like there's so much to it. What about Beard Advice Live that's been going on for 3 years that have never charged a penny and have had literally thousands of beards send in for free every single time, and we don't have a company, we don't anything. Like, oh, you conveniently forget about that. That's okay. Interesting.
Of course that's forgotten about.
Yeah, confirmation bias is a wild thing.
Mm-hmm. And yes, Corey, consistency is that's why I've tried to stick with the live streams as best as I possibly can. The video wise, yes, I am lacking, and I've explained on why.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go the route of go to a website, have my intro thing made for free, but then how am I supposed to edit my videos to where it's not like when my videos start, there's probably 3 minutes of me sitting here staring at the camera trying to like, okay, let's just start and then we'll go to this point, there's a lot more in those videos than it is what you see.
For sure.
It said that I do it all in one take, and there's a lot of me just, so
Oh yeah. Yep, there's always way more to the sausage than what people realize.
that's what she said. Yeah, like reels, shorts, TikTok, the stuff that's all the rave right now. I mean, like TikTok, the biggest thing with TikTok right now is their algorithm, and they're trying to go SOE, or like search in SEO.
Yeah.
They're trying to go SEO based, which screws a lot of content creators that don't have a set niche like me.
Right. And it's actually what's going to be TikTok's downfall.
Yep.
And for people to understand the different platforms is super important. And as a content creator, I really do. I just have a good knack in understanding, right? Like right now, there's a lot of people chasing shorts on YouTube. Super important thing. I've said it a bunch of times, and I will say it until I can't anymore because it's true. In any capacity that a viewer finds you is the way they're going to stay. So like if you're like, oh, YouTube's pushing shorts now, you can make money off shorts, you get good views, you get quick subscribers, all those things. All true. But if you have any value in your videos or your live streams, you're actually hurting yourself. YouTube does not like deflated numbers. YouTube does not like 1 million subscribers and then getting 1,000 views. That really hurts your channel. It hurts the way that they promote you. If you're getting still hot views on your shorts, they're going to keep pushing that. And so for me, I'm not going out and doing a ton of shorts or any shorts actually because I don't want those viewers. Why? Because I'm not a short form content creator, right? What Garrett and Melissa do is vastly different than my mindset and my skill set. I'm just not good. I'm just not that funny, right? I'm not that creative. It'll come in spurts once in a great while, but I'm just not that good at it. But what TikTok did, and TikTok is probably the greatest discoverability app of all time. The ability for people to find you, whether you're a business or a creator. You don't make money off TikTok, though. Even the tippity top people, they just pay you garbage. They pay you pennies. But what it did was, here's the massive difference. And here's why also the views are inflated on TikTok and are not as anywhere near as valuable as YouTube. It's not bots, not any of that stuff. TikTok, until this time now where they're trying to change to SEO, everything was forced upon you. You open TikTok and the vast majority of what you're viewing is not what you chose. Most people on your For You page, you don't follow and you did not pick to view it. You're just scrolling and they put it on you. They send it to you. YouTube is the absolute opposite. YouTube is only 95% is based on what you search for and what you chose to watch. It's so heavily based on your subscription feed and so based on what you're searching for. And that's what they did well. TikTok did something very different well. But now they're like, ooh, we want a piece of that YouTube pie, and that's what's going to cause TikTok to fall, just like Vine did, just like all these other platforms did. It's going to cause them to fall.
But do you think YouTube tried to jump into, they tried to grab a piece of that too? Do you think that ends up fucking content creators in that sense?
So it depends on what you do with it as a content creator. Here's where YouTube is going to win, and they will last. Number one, they're owned by Google, so they're not going anywhere. The largest search engine in the world is Google. Number two is YouTube. So like that's going to last. Here's what they did. They monetized shorts in the same way that they monetize their videos and live streams. So you can make the same content on YouTube and on TikTok, and you straight up get paid on YouTube. If you're pulling millions of views in an authentic way, because you can pull, a lot of people don't like to hear this either. You can pull millions of views on shorts when you're paying ads. People don't realize you can run Google ads for your YouTube shorts. And that's just going to deflate or inflate your numbers and make it look ridiculous when you're actually paying for them rather than getting paid for them. Yeah. And so what YouTube did there, and I agree to an extent that they're chasing on that short form content. As a content creator, it's up to you to do your due diligence of what kind of audience do you want. If you are someone that has a full length channel and then you start pushing shorts, it's probably going to hurt you. But what a lot of brilliant people do is they have their base channel and then they start a second channel that's dedicated to shorts. That's brilliant because you can make money off those shorts and you're not hurting your channel in any way. And you can use that as a platform to try and get people over to your other platform. So you're like, hey, if you like this short content, go check out my long form. But it's not hurting your numbers. I believe that's the only way it can work to do both of them. And there's a lot of channels that do that and they do it well, where they have the two different versions of the channel. Mr. Beast is doing that now. If Mr. Beast does it, it's going to be tried, true, and researched really, really well. So that would be my thing is it'll hurt a content creator if they let their ego get in the way. And what do I mean by that? Numbers feel good and they look good. They're sexy. Like that feels good. What's an easy way to get numbers right now? Run some shorts. It's what they're plugging. And so if you're running those shorts and you get in your head and you're like, whoa, I got these numbers. But then at the end of the day, what value did that actually bring to you other than making you have that serotonin drop for a short amount of time, And so you got to really know what you're doing as a content creator. And this is the stuff I love. This is the stuff I study and go in depth on. There's definitely layers to all those things. But if I'm putting investment anywhere, it's in YouTube. YouTube is going to last. People want to learn. People want to search. TikTok, the time frame, it's going to be limited. The Chinese connection is always going to be there. That's something that people worry about, even though at one point it was sold to a company in Texas, but then it really wasn't and all this stuff. So yeah, if I can give any advice to creators out there is understand what market you are looking for.
Yeah, this. So what you're saying is I should move my TikTok to a secondary channel on YouTube.
Yes, 100%.
Because with getting more into YouTube again and going where I'm trying to go with that, yeah, I still have the mindset of it's for fun. I enjoy this the most.
Yeah.
I enjoy making the videos when I do. But like the TikTok is where I feel more of my creative side.
Oh, yeah, you're great at it, man. Literally, again, and people know this, but I reached out to you privately and told I'm like, you are great at these. Like I said earlier, even things that I don't fully understand, or even if it's not my style, I can like really see like, all right, that's quality. Like that's really good.
Thanks, Sean. For $6.99, I might point you in the direction.
I thought he was talking about me. Oh, thanks, Sean. Just kidding.
But I've been thinking about incorporating more beard stuff into my TikTok, but now I'm starting to wonder if I should do it the other way.
Yeah, I would, for the main basis that, and people have this, like it's a stigma, like it's a bad thing to say, but let me say it. You can make money. Oh my God, how dare you, right?
Right.
If your shorts take off on YouTube in a genuine, authentic way, you can make money off that. And how the heck is that bad? Like, that's what I don't understand. And I call this the radio theory. There are people in society, it's a human nature thing, that love songs and bands only if they're not on the radio or discovered by a lot of people. But the second you take that same exact song, that same exact band, even if they don't change, I'm not talking Korn here, right? Even if they don't change, but they get on the radio and now people are aware of them, they're like, ugh, I don't like them anymore, and it's that theory, and it's the kind of the same thing as with this. And so it's like TikTok is cool, right? You get great numbers. I don't know your personal business, but I'm assuming you didn't get rich off TikTok. I'm assuming you didn't make a ton of money. If you pull those same numbers on YouTube, you're going to have some fun money. You're going to have some spending cash, and it's a great platform to be on, but I wouldn't recommend it on this one. I believe that if you want to focus on shorts, do it on a secondary one, send it to yourself. If you guys want to look up a good one, JRE Clips, the Joe Rogan experience, they have a clip channel that does it. Mr. Beast has one that does it. Andrew Schultz has a flagrant clips that he has. Like, comedians are doing it very, very well right now. Very, very well. And so that would be my advice. And there are some challenges. So like Scott asked about music. That is the biggest thing. Is music is a huge battle right now when it comes to rights. Essentially, platforms like Instagram and TikTok are buying the rights from the record labels to use these songs in short clips. You can only use them for a set amount of time. Well, the artists are now getting really upset because they're not getting paid for those things. And so that will change in the future. YouTube is unbelievably strict. And I see Garrett said on there, I don't think you get banned. You can. So you get so many copyright strikes. And if you violate it and you make it bad enough, and it depends on who the artist and the record label is. Some are very serious and some are not, because we got to remember this, you guys. Copyright infringement is theft. Doesn't matter if it's 1 second, doesn't matter if it's 30 seconds. That's stealing something that is owned by someone else. Yep. So if it all comes down to how they want to pursue it. If there's a record label that says, you stole our music, we are going to pursue this, you get a real, and there's all levels to copyright strikes, but there are levels where you can get your whole entire channel taken down. And there's little things, and there's even big channels that have been taken down because of that. So it's not common. It's most of the time you just don't make money off of it, but they can. And so that would be a challenge of going from TikTok or Reels to Shorts, is you can't use any copyrighted music.
See, that's the best part about my TikToks is there's like no music in it.
That's good. That's good. And Garrett said, I heard YouTube is changing their laws here soon so people can use more music. No, it's the absolute opposite. TikTok and Instagram they're in court right now about the rights of the music. What's going to happen is they are going to lose those rights, and then YouTube will be at the forefront because they never had them.
Yeah, with TikTok, I don't ever use music really. And then like my YouTube stuff, like what was in my intro that I lost, Logan made that.
Yeah, I know. You know? So yeah.
So that wasn't, I basically owned that.
Yeah,
because 100%. I gave him some money for it even.
That's so cool, man.
And like the music I've used in my videos that's in the background or whatnot, or was on my ending segment, that's all from a channel that's no copyright, whatever. It's free music, basically.
Yep. Same here in my intro. Yep.
I found a metal artist that has royalty-free music, basically, is what he does.
Yep. No, it's cool. And music in general is in this limbo right now. And I have a couple like high-level professional musician friends, and it's this, like, the whole entire industry changed, right? Think about it. You used to make money off album sales and touring. That was it. Merch a little bit here and there, but album sales and touring. And now you can't even judge it the same way because of streams. And I distinctly personally remember, like, the first time downloading Spotify, and my mind was blown. I was like, I can wait. I pay a monthly fee. I can download this album and this album. And it was mind blowing to me. And as a result, like, it should be like musicians are like, no, we don't make anything off of streaming anymore. We don't make anything off of albums because we don't sell albums. We have to be creative and make money elsewhere. And it's all going to settle. You see this stuff. It's kind of like college sports right now. They have these NIL deals where they make money off their likeness. Well, it's going extreme. Well, college is going to bounce it back and put some rules in place. Music is really extreme right now. It will come back. There will be some rules in place. I have. So does that mean music will be taken off? So Brian, if you make enough reels, you will already have experienced this. They will go back. You'll see this on TikTok too. If you go and like watch somebody's TikTok and then you go through, you'll see a lot of the reels and the TikToks getting muted. Oftentimes record labels haven't put out their like copyright or their royalties yet. And then they come out and they get taken down already. So this, Brian, this already happens on a very regular basis. I've had it happen to me several times.
I think I had one TikTok that the sound got removed.
Yeah.
Because of it.
And it's frustrating because it's not like when you post it, you're like, good. They're like, oh, cool. Yeah, you're following the rules. You're all set. You're good. And then just randomly one day, the artist or the record label says, nope, you guys cannot use this anymore. So they go in and wipe them all out.
Yep.
And then a lot of people don't realize too, when you have like a business account, because it's a professional, you can't use any of that music. It's all copyright free. So like companies, if they have set up as a structured as a business account, they can't use those things. And there's creative loopholes that you can do, but you're not supposed to.
Not supposed to. Yeah, of
Right.
course. See, like, so even with the free music that YouTube provides, the music you use, Dan C, is that on the table for YouTube getting sued?
Nope. So if and that's a good question, Scott. So YouTube does have its own YouTube Music, which is the royalty free one. That's actually what I use for all my beats, all my everything. That one is not. Those ones are 100% royalty free unless the record label comes out and says, nope, we actually want the rights to this. But nope, you shouldn't have to worry about that. This is just people doing things. And I saw, I think it was Brian mentioned YouTube reaction videos. So those, man, if you make a reaction video, buckle up, because that stuff's about to be changing like crazy. And the algorithms they have to detect that stuff is crazy. A lot of you know, but I had Mick Foley on the channel before. And as I had a stream leading up to that, I wanted to show people that he had a beard. So I pulled up just a quick clip of Pawn Stars where he was on it and had a beard. I didn't have the audio on. I just showed like 5 seconds. YouTube gave me a strike afterwards. I'm like, how did they detect that? Like, that's crazy. Crazy.
You'd think, well, you know, with YouTube, they've had plenty of time to correct or perfect their algorithms for shit like that.
There's some money. They got some money behind that. So no doubt. That one shocked me because I was like, I get songs. They can have like, you know, like a Shazam type thing that will catch songs. I didn't have audio. They caught me showing a video on a screen share. Like, that's nuts. Nuts.
Yeah, that's why because I was like, you know, with metal music, I don't want to get screwed in that way where I have to take videos down or something because I use it. So I searched and did some research on what I could do. And then I searched for royalty-free music. Tried to find artists that were making that.
That's the way, man.
And I came across someone.
Yeah, like people always told me, oh, you can use up to 30 seconds. No, theft is theft. Like you don't get any set amount of time.
1 second or 2 seconds, 30 seconds to a minute. It doesn't matter.
Yep. And you got to, I mean, as a creator, you got to understand that too. You know, if somebody's using my content free to make money off of me, like, that's not cool. I don't care if it's 30 seconds. I don't care if it's 2 seconds. If you don't have my permission, you shouldn't be able to use that.
Yep, exactly.
Hopefully Garrett doesn't have to work in the morning. This dude works super crazy hours, tough job. Saturday tomorrow, right? Or today, I guess.
Well, for me, it is tomorrow yet. But so we are at the 2-hour mark. And we were allotted about 2 hours. So, with that being said, do you have anything that you want to say coming up that you got, or just something in general?
No, man, just anybody ever needs anything, reach out. Even if you think I don't have the answer, when I'm honest, I'll tell you I don't know the answer. And if you just want to talk, if you want YouTube advice, Instagram advice, or anything like that, man, I'm always available. I genuinely like helping people. That's why I went to be a coach. That's why I went to be a teacher, and genuinely here for you guys. I want to see everybody win, man. I really, really do. I want Dan's channel to be as big as possible. I want Garrett's Reels to be as big as possible. I don't see how that hurts anybody by people being successful. And I think the more that we collaborate, the more that we do things like this, I think that it's better for everybody. And don't hesitate to reach out, guys. I promise it's never a bother. It's never a bug. It's actually an honor that you'd want to message me. So that's the only thing. Other than that, just my normal schedule. Got some stuff I'm excited about, and yeah, man, I appreciate you having me on, Dan. This was fun.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. And to anybody that was new here, I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate anybody and everybody that comes in to hang out for a while. I mean, with Dan, he's helped me quite a bit I mean, there was things that he pointed out for YouTube that I had no idea on that I could do or that I should do. So I applaud him for that. The random questions I'll shoot him here and there.
Always happy, man.
But otherwise, yes, I appreciate you coming on. It was a good long stream.
Quick though, man. It's crazy how that's 2 hours.
As for me, once I get my DaVinci Resolve figured out, I've got probably about 6 videos in my head or written down on how I'm gonna go about some things. So yeah. Everybody that showed up tonight, thank you. I appreciate you all. I hope you enjoyed the stream. And until next time, see y'all later.
Peace.